Hi guys, Esther here from Homeowner DIY. So I'm on this other roof. This roof is a friend of mine. I've already done some work on this. Guys, if you've looked at my other videos, I've already touched base on some of the other things. So this roof has multiple pitches. The pitch behind here is extremely steep. It's not something I would ever walk on. The one at my feet isn't steep. So it just gives you an idea of the different types of things that you can run into on a roof. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go over the couple things I've already fixed here and then the other issues that I've noticed on this roof. So what we'll do is I will go over the material, the time, and the tools that we need to do this job. So guys, if you're gonna hire somebody to come over here and do these small things, you're gonna have a hell of a time, because a company is not really gonna be interested in this. You may find somebody personally, unless you're willing to spend the $600 that they want. But this stuff you can do it on your own. You just need some tools, a little bit of material, and a little bit of know-how. So let's get to it. Alright, so guys, the pitch of this roof is steep. This one is not. This one here I couldn't even walk on. But what I did notice when I was up here was I noticed this little indentation. So you're gonna have water sitting here. I do have a shingle. What we're going to do is we'll pry this up, we'll nail it down, and then I've got a sealant for it. And then here, there's an actual hole right there. I've got a cap shingle, you got exposed nails. This is something I noticed by chance, but you have water that's coming down here all the time. So this is a real quick and easy fix, which we will be taking care of today. So over here, you have two downspouts. So this one has nothing been done to it. This one has. I put my shingles from the garage. So this roof here, I think it has around 10 years left on its life. So the reason for these shingles here was, so the water coming down off the downspout will hit the shingle instead of eroding these shingles down here and the membrane. So these shingles here are only meant to be for the next 5 years. You can't see these shingles from the street, so it doesn't matter. They don't have to look pretty. But what I'll do right now is I'll go up, we'll pour some water down the downspout, and then you'll get an idea of where the water is going to be dripping for a prolonged period of time. Remember, right at the bottom of the downspout is where you're going to have your most wear, because you have water flowing all the time. This is what I mean when you should always pipe your downspout straight into the next gutter. You should never leave it like this. But what we'll do right now is I'll go and pour some water down the downspout, and then we can see my reclaimed shingles in action. Alright, so you see where the water is flowing down? So right where the water is dripping, this is what's going to erode your shingles the fastest. This is why I just threw the couple shingles, nailed them in, put some sealant on it, and this is good enough to take care of this downspout for the life of the roof, the next few years. Alright guys, this is the flashing I did last year. So that there was a crack in the top here, and it was dripping out actually all the way down to the mechanical room. So what I did was I pried off the shingles. You see some of the sealant there where the shingle broke, but it's been nailed in around the top. Really, I think I should have put this layer of shingle over top as well, just to hold it down a little bit more. But the flashing was $8. It was an hour to do. I mean, this is a quick and simple job. Based on the amount of grade on the slope of this roof, this is going to, it'll shed water very effectively. I'm not really a fan of this type of integrated gutter, because you have a rubber membrane, but the water just sits. You see the water sitting there, and I don't think there is a such thing as enough maintenance or anything else. I think the problem with this design is the gutter here, it just doesn't slope enough. Like, I would say every 8 feet you should have about 1 inch of grade or pitch. So I'd call it an 1/8 inch per foot. But these things are probably so flat that they don't have anything. Alright guys, so this is the last issue that I know of so far right now on this roof. So here the valley comes down and it leaks here, there's a hole. So what I'll do is I'll pour some water just to show you guys what it looks like. So remember, water is just gonna deteriorate everything, the wood and everything else. So we have a leak. So what I think I'm gonna do on this job, and guys, I've never worked on a rubber membrane before, so this is gonna be a first for me. You see how the water just puddles here? This is just, it's pure garbage, this design. I don't like it. But anyways, what we'll do is I'm going to take a piece of rubber membrane. I think I'm gonna try to slide it up underneath, bring it up, and then here, we'll glue everything down. I have sealant for it, and we'll see how this goes. There's a seam right there, but as I said, this is the first time I've ever worked on something like this before, this rubber membrane, so it'll be a first for me, but you know, that's how you're gonna get better, by trying different things. All right, so what we'll do now is go into material and tools. All right, so we'll start with our material. I have this sealant. This is what I'm going to use when I do the roof as well. It's like a black tar sealant. This stuff is horrible if you get it on yourself. We have 1.5 inch galvanized roofing nails. This comes off a coil for a nail gun, but this is what I did for the roof, and it's still, I have plenty of them, so why spend money when we don't need to? This here is a ridge shingle. So a ridge shingle is this right here. This will be for the ridge where the gap is. So I've got sealant and the membrane. So guys, I didn't buy this from a big box store. I actually went to a roofing wholesaler. As far as I know, you can't get this membrane and the seal at a big box store. So this membrane is called EPDM. I don't know what it stands for, but that is what you refer to this rubber membrane as. So guys, this is going to be the material that I need to do this job. So moving to tools. We have a big flat pry bar. You want something big because it's going to distribute the weight. Remember guys, these shingles get fragile as they get older. So you don't want to pry them. You don't want to manhandle them unless you're going to tear the roof off. So we have the silicone gun. That'll be for our tuba sealant. We have a putty knife, that's going to be for our black sealant. Hand tools, hammer, gloves so we can stay clean, earplugs, and everything else that we're probably going to need on this job. So with everything in hand, we'll get started. Alright guys, so we have our shingle here that we're going to go over. I cut a notch just to make it fit on the back side here. Well, all we're going to do and slide it across, and then we're going to take a couple nails. Again, these are galvanized roofing nails. Alright, so that is done. Now we have a pocket here where water can sit, so all I'm going to do is just pry this part up here. Guys, be gentle. There is a tar strip that goes here. It's not hard to break free. Don't use something small, use something wider. So if you want to see this tar strip, this is what's going to stick to the shingles underneath. And then I'll put in 2 nails up here. Alright, now that's all done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black seal. We'll go over this, we'll go over the other one. We'll do this and this. And now this is just going to create a surface just for the water to come across. And then the bottom here is going to eventually, the tar strip will just glue the two together. This is not visible, so it doesn't have to be pretty, but this will now last the life of the roof. We have our black sealant, and all we're going to do do that and that. It doesn't have to be anything pretty. And I've noticed, because it's so warm, this stuff is actually, it's quite thin. Can you lift up the shingle, please? Okay, down. Down. So this is going to help keep the shingle down, as well as it'll seal the nails. Alright guys, there's a quick and simple fix that's cost effective. So with this all done, now I'm going to go and take care of the membrane. Alright guys, so we're going to start right here. First thing I'm going to do is take off the first couple nails just for the flashing. So of course we want to be careful, we don't want to damage the material, we want to reuse it, so let's be gentle about it. Okay, so our flashing here is nice and loose. Alright, so we're going to take this flashing up. Oh, it's actually nailed in. Move it off to the side. Actually, that's good enough. Alright, so alright guys, sometimes it's easier just to take everything off. Alright, so in the corner here, there's a cut. So this is our rubber membrane. This is 2 feet wide by 10 feet long. This is the smallest stuff I could buy. So really what we're going to do is I'm going to go a foot by a foot. So it'll be a 2-foot square piece. We're going to cut that. We're going to try to slide it in and then try to raise it up here. And then we're going to seal it right after. So again, guys, if you're going to cut on something else, put a block or something underneath it. The last thing you want is a problem later on with your roof. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just eye this out. Grab our knife. Okay, so this is our 2x2 square. Alright, after meddling with this for a while, I realized doing this whole area is not going to work. So what I've done is I cut a slot into it. The slot will be on the vertical, it'll be high up, so it shouldn't be a problem. Again, this is the first time I've ever done this type of roofing before, so trial and error, people, that's what you have to do sometimes. Okay, so this is our sealant. You can see the EPDM right there. I don't know what it stands for, but what we'll do is we'll cut our nozzle. Alright guys, so you have to make sure your area is nice and clean, otherwise you're going to stick to the garbage that's underneath and you're not going to get a nice seal. So in this case, be very liberal about how you apply this stuff. Alright, so this is our bead. So guys, make sure you go around the very edge. You actually want to see the sealant like here squirting out the side. That way you know you have it nice and tight to the very edge. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It's just a corner patch. This is where the leak was. So what we're going to do is just leave this now, and later on when I come back here, because I just got other stuff to do in other people's houses. So what I'm going to do is when I come back next time, we will take our jug of water, we will splash it all around to make sure everything is still nice and watertight. What I'm going to do now is I'll put this back on, I'll put the other side here back on, and then that'll be it for this job. Alright, so what I did is I went all the way around just to make sure that it's going to seal. So guys, you got to keep in mind, you got water hitting from this side, and everything is going down here. So this is going to get hit by a lot of driving rain and a lot of water. So don't be afraid to add more. Just don't make a complete mess out of it, because you're just wasting more material than we need to. But our flashing is now back on. Everything looks good. One other thing, guys, make sure that you reuse the same nails. If you move your nail over into here, because this is the top, that rain is going to hit and go in and then just start to rot this out later on. So if your nails are too loose, like these seem to be okay, what you can always do is go up to a thicker nail, something a little bit bigger, so it'll bite into the wood. But I would suggest in this particular case not to move your nail over, because you're going to leave the hole exposed unless you want to seal that off. So that takes care of this. So what we'll do now is material and time. Alright guys, so we're all done. So the material cost on this, the pail of the black sealant, that was $20. The rubber membrane and the tube of sealant for the EPDM, those were $45. Again, I had to go to a roofing wholesaler to get this stuff. You can't get it at the big box store. So our total cost here is $65. Now the pail I'm going to be using on another job, so really it's even cheaper than that. Our labor. So the time to do these three things was about 75 minutes. Guys, this is quick, it's simple, it's cost effective, and it's going to really prevent damage in the future. I mean, I really think the next time that anything will have to be done on this roof is when the roof needs to be replaced. I think this stuff will hold up long enough. The patch I did in the corner with the rubber membrane, that I will come back and check on later. Again, I've never worked with this membrane stuff before, so I'm not sure how it acts, what you can do with it. I mean, even the project went a little bit different than I thought it would, but that's what we call experience. So anyways, very happy things went well. Guys, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.